Is that actual magical musketeers and not an unchained pile for once? And goblin bikers? Make sure you guys smash the link, grab out of that subscribe button so you guys don't miss out on more Oz content. We have been tracking the new regional season out here, and this regional is very, very interesting. And I know I say that a lot, but just overall looking at the possibility of your top cut here, it's completely, not skewered by new ratios. Now, obviously, you have two Maliss decks sitting here. I'm not going to take that away from you. We understand that, Maliss is still a very, very ignorantly dumb deck at doing what it needs to do. But you also had only one Ryzeal. So, the new deck build pack stuff really was not being too terminally crazy here, which is good. And, of course, your challenger winning this event was actually Fire Kings. That's right. Fire Kings came out of nowhere out here and really just showcased some of the stupid power that this deck can still do. And I genuinely am very happy to see that, These new deck build decks did change up the meta, but the old guard is doing very, very well. Now, we also had a magical musket deck kind of showing up out here. It's not like the unchained pile that we've been seeing. It's playing like triple starfire, getting, classified as that. But that was really cool. We also had a Tempai duelist stepping into the arena as well. And hey, for all of you Tempai mains out there, deck's definitely not dead. All right, contrary to what people were talking about out here. Of course, we also had some Voiceless Voice action for you. I don't know who thought that Voiceless Voice wasn't going to be a thing, but Voiceless Voice just got like 3 new possible builds to be playing, and even if they're not choosing to play the new stuff, it's still really cool to see that. And then, of course, we have Goblin Bikers out here. Now, I think that this has been one of the more interesting choices out here, because this is like an anti-Ryzeal deck. You're using this to detach materials off of Dreadnader and then using it to control your opponent. That might actually be worth exploring and thinking about. So, your breakdown, I'm quite impressed with. Let's pass on over to deck list. Winning our event here was none other than our Fire King special out here. It's really cool to still see the, even a stripped down version of this deck. Things are still flowing into place. Also, we chose to play the Silhouette trick in here instead of, the Barrier Statue of Azurine. I think that's kind of interesting to be thinking about that, the negate's going to be more valuable, I guess, anything else. But really, I still think Azurine has some value out here in today's modern era, but maybe it's just me. See, we are playing the one copy of the Skyburn in here for the board clear, and of course, we went as far as to actually play the Arsenal Falcon in here, but, I guess there is some level of synergy. It couldn't be me, right? Couldn't be me. Just reverse engineer into your engine. Who needs OSS and things like that? But Fire Kings, still 100% viable. Yeah, no more Snake Eyes BS, but I think that's actually kind of the charm of seeing this format evolve. Ooh, we have Maliss for you. Now, Maliss is going to look pretty basic. It's going to depend on which packages you're going to want to try playing in here. I do see that we were playing the Code of the Soul, which was pretty good. We're going with the 2 Chassis Cat, which also, I do like the Allure of Darkness stuff. I think it does open up some pretty cool doors for what you want to be seeing. I see we're also going with the triple tack talents in here as well. Okay, so that's a lot to be seeing. And of course, one of each of the traps in order to change it. But they also opted to be main decking the impulses, which, okay. You also do see that dear old Shifter has taken a place down here into the side deck world, which is okay. Also got Book of Eclipses for cleanup. The extra deck, I think, is pretty tight, actually. You have, 1 tech slot, and they're dedicating it to Typhon. So, being able to make this and clean up a problematic field that your opponent might have pressured you into or cutting you off seems pretty all right. Ooh, we have our Magical Musketeer deck. Now, this is what I was happy to see. I mean, we're not doing the massive Unchained BS that we've seen in the past, but you're still using the Magical Musketeer stuff in here as potential link climbing fodder to be able to do things. So you gotta remember, we're just ramping up all of our Fiendsmith stuff. So effectively, this is still gonna be a Fiendsmith deck at the end of the day, but this is just so crazy to see, man. You're telling me that just one of these turns on into the max can then trigger, swap some out other guys, and then you convert the max on into a Requiem, and then you start full Fiendsmith combo. I'm not saying that that's broken or anything, but it really, really, really puts this format into such an interesting perspective on the things that you can do, and also proves how stupid good track can be. All right, just so many engine pieces and going. Yeah, there's nothing else really to say about this. As many hand traps as you can shove into a deck and make it actually work out. All right, we also have our other Maliss deck, sporting off, see, we're getting a little bit interesting out here. We're going with the Parallel Exceeds out here, but the cool thing about Parallel Exceed is you just have this act as another level 4 monster, right? Like, it just, hey, I've extended this on out. You know, we're off to the races. We're doing everything. Okay, I see we're also playing the Cyber's Wit Kid. I know a few builds were testing this out, but this build's also not going with the Terahertz M board, which I think has become the more golden standard for things. I believe we're going with the Nightmare Griffin M board. We're also playing the 1 copy of Sigma in here as well. Another free special summon from the deck. We're also not playing the Code of the Soul. At least in terms of the way your meta's looking, I think that this is fine. You know, Maliss has not been set in stone yet. I mean, you've got, depending on where you're going, you have a build like this. You have Pure, you have the Kashtira, you have the Sky Striker. The fact you have all of those extremes doing this well is really, really cool. All right, next up is, yes, this is going to be the pattern I'm going to be dealing with for this format. It's like, oh boy, hey guys, we got a Ryzeal list. Today we're going to be playing Fiendsmith cards in it, haha. And you know, of course, if you're expecting something really, really unique, no. 41 cards, you're debating on how many tracks you want to play, either 2 or 3. I've seen an argument for both right now. Depends on how you want the consistency to go. You know, not playing Pot of, Draw 2 in this deck, but I mean, you've got this all scraped together and it's all figured out. Of course, you also have the crossouts in here getting the job done, and of course 1 Sanctum for the thrust interaction to get to the Lancia to punish your opponent. Yeah, I don't see anything wrong with this. This is once again going to be your new standard. This is going to be the thing that people are going to have to try to beat, you know, whether or not you go through one cutoff package or the other. It's so kind of stupid, but thanks, Konami. You wanted to make a Fiendsmith format, and you definitely did it. This is going to be one of those cases we're going to be sticking around for a while. Goblin Bikers. Now, I think this is one of the coolest things I got the chance to see out of this weekend, is the fact that Goblin Bikers were seeing some play. But you got to remember, the reason why this deck can be successful is if your opponent puts a Dreadnought on the field, you can start chomping off those materials, you know, something like this. And congratulations, your opponent's now down a material on trying to, you know, play the game. That's actually pretty good. Terratop's still going to be one of the best gosh darn starters you have in the deck, because pulling this out's good. Tour Guide, also still going to get you some extremely good value. Nyan's going to be your little extender, and I see we are doing the full armored exceed package in here as well, because 2 level 3s just turns into a whole crap ton of extra materials to do the thing. Board breakers with droplets, I don't really see anything too wrong with that. And of course, we are playing Droll and Lockbird. Droll has been gaining a little bit of momentum as of late. I think Droll is going to be a very, very good hand trap, depending on how this format develops, because you know, your opponent does one bad thing, well, congratulations, you just draw and lock them, and you're off to win the game. Voiceless Voice. Now, I did mention in the beginning of this video that Voiceless Voice has been, you know, we got the Ryuji build, and we have the Ryzeal builds that have both been being discussed out here. Actually, what we have here is actually a nod back to original Voiceless Voice, you know, where you're able to use the Nadir Servant stuff to kind of clear up some problematic things, you know, get your searches, get everything what you need, and then congratulations, Maximus, get you some more extra deck rips, which just kind of bridges this all together, and then you rely on a good hand trap base to clear up whatever your opponent's going to be doing. Seems relatively easy in fashion to do, which I pretty much assure you, resolving the Maximus is probably going to put you into a really good game-winning position. We're also playing the 1 Saravis in here, which is fine. There's no longer much of a need for 2 of this. Skull Guardian maximizing on the lows. That's pretty normal at this point. 44 cards is also not going to be an issue. You have so many good packages in a build like this that there's no reason to go too crazy. And then, of course, hey, we have our Tempai list. I'm really happy to see this deck did well. These standard board breakers in here, Ultimate Slayers, kind of clean up those extremely stupid, problematic cards. Double Genroku is going to be fine. And, of course, we're going with a Kashtira base in here just to make sure, you know, we can get to all the value we want. Hey, Race Loss pretty good. I just am curious to see that they chose to play the Rise Heart. I don't really think you need that, but I guess the logic was, you know, Dracosac into Cherubini effectively kind of gets combo going for you, so That's kind of cute to say the least, but that's your breakdown for this regional. Definitely kind of cool, right? So please, comment down below, tell me what you guys think, and I'll see your beautiful faces back here later today, guys. Patrons, thank you.
Thank you so much for watching. Check out these other videos.